X1T Gaming, and together we're going to revolutionize the gaming industry. So I'm actually learning this stuff. I'm excited. I get it. And yeah, so I'm excited. I think today we're going to finish this project, and tomorrow I'm going to try to actually do more days and get the next project done tomorrow. Maybe we'll spend the time today to finish the challenge. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for the system to load, and then we got adjust the animation jump and falling, and keep the player from unconscious jumping. Okay. Ooh, set up a jump animation. I did that one. Okay, adjust the jumping. I got this thing loaded. Let's take a peek and start the video.
Great. Now our player character animations are in a really good place. We have our running animations, and then when we jump, you can see we jump for joy. But we have this weird little issue where when we jump, the animation stops short, and then we start running in the air, which doesn't really look right. So we're actually going to go into our running jump animation, and similarly to how we set the speed to be a little bit faster for the run to just make it look like the player's running faster, we're going to set our animation speed just a bit slower. We'll do a 0.7 just so that the animation now runs just a bit longer instead of faster. So when we press play, now when we jump, the animation definitely works a lot better. It lasts a bit longer. I think one thing that we're going to do just to make it look a little bit more realistic is we're actually going to go into our player object and we're going to play around with some of the variables. So specifically our mass, our jump force, and our gravity modifier to just make it look a lot more realistic and better for what we want to be. So our mass on our rigid body is a little low. People don't normally weigh just 1 kilogram, so we're going to change our mass. Usually, on average, a person weighs about 60 kilograms or so. So we'll see what that does when we press play. And we have the jumping animation, but we don't really go anywhere. So let's play around with the jump force a little bit. Maybe let's set it to a little bit over like 10 times the actual mass. So we'll do like a 700. We'll see how that looks. Ooh, I go a little bit high. So maybe, let's see. If we go to our gravity modifier, let's make it a little bit more. Let's make it like a 1.5. And now when we jump, not bad. Pretty close. So we could probably fiddle with these values a bit more, but it looks pretty good. We get pretty close to the ground before we start running. So now what you're going to do is in your player.
Okay, so we did that. The thing with mine though is that for some reason it goes forward. Where's the Okay, so yeah, we did the running jump in the thing. That's what we got. Hmm. don't know how to fix that one. Well, let's just keep on watching the next videos and see if he gets it right. If he changes it. But it's weird how my jump animation, doing exactly what he's doing. Maybe I should look at the comments and adjust jump animation. Okay, where everyone's having different problems. I'm trying to see if someone has the same problem. If that the character goes forward. Okay, so constraints. Freeze X. Okay. Let's see this. Okay, there we go. That's probably what we're doing wrong. If I get this, he doesn't jump at all. The game stopped. Let's try it again. Yeah, can't do that. So we do this one. And now let's see how it works. Okay, that works better. Yeah, so it's freezing the rotation, freezing the position. I think we might have done that by mistake. That's funny. The guy who he said that his problem was that it was slowly rotating forward, and so they had to come here. And so other people's problems can also find out your solution. So sometimes it's good to read. Yeah, so constraints right here in the rigid body. Interesting. So we want excuse me. We want to freeze all the access. We don't need them to rotate, and we don't need them to freeze a position on the y-axis because we need them to jump up and down. That is good. Okay, I'm happy with that one. Okay, so the next one, don't just stand there. Set up a falling animation. Let's see if we could do this one without actually looking at the video. So in the condition that player collides with obstacle, set the death bool to true. In the same statement, if statement, set the death type integer to 1. So I think the death type, so we got death B right here. Oops. Oh, there's no animations for death B. Death type integer to 1. Okay, let's try to do this by ourselves, and then we will figure out the video if it doesn't work. So this one is for, is it the player? Yeah, so it goes else if we have all this stuff, and now we want to add another bool. So we'll make this one a public bool. And oh wait, no, we don't want this one. We don't need it. Boom, because we have the game over one already. So we go into this one over here. So what happens is we have the else if, which goes game over equals true, debug game over, and now we want to do an animation. So we're going to select those animations that we have. Player aim, because we have the player aim dot set trigger and set bool. This is what we're going to be doing. So player animation dot set bool, and this one is going to do that death B, and we got to make this one true. Okay. Boom. So basically, when the game over sets up, we're going to set the bool to true instead of false on that thing, which is the which is this one right here. So it looks like a checkbox. Well, this one is a trigger. This one is a bool. So it's like a true or false statement. So right now it is in false mode, and it'll be true mode when I click it. And then there's a death type integer, which we're going to put at 1, because that's what he wanted for that thing. So then the next one, we'll do this one again, the player aim, but now we're going to be putting a set trigger, because now it's going to trigger that one, which will be the death type integer, and we're going to set that one to 1. Oops, not set trigger, my bad. Set integer. Set integer. Boom. Yeah. It's not a trigger, it's an integer. Boom. Now let's save, and now let's see the death animation. Let's see, this one changes to 1. Doesn't change to 1, but let's see. So we got all this stuff working. Boom, I hit the thing, and game over, and he's dead. Sweet. I wonder, I think this one, if we double click this one, nope. Layers, death. Here we go, that's where we want to find it. So he's got a couple deaths. We can click and see which deaths we want. Do we want that one? Looks like he got shot. He is in the city. That could happen. Okay, that's another death right there. Oh, that's dead 1. And dead 2. Collapses forward. Yeah, that's 1. This one's good enough. They're not that much better. So yeah, boom. We didn't need to watch the video for that one. Just did the cheat sheet. Okay, keep player from unconsciously jumping. So everything's working perfectly, but there's one small disturbing bug to fix. The player can jump from an unconscious position, making it look like... Okay. So basically he's saying that you can jump, and then you hit, and then you can still jump when you're dead. And that's weird. So I'm not even going to look at the thing. I want to see if I can figure this out. So I'll just do my thought process for actually writing anything. I'm thinking we probably will just... is on ground equals false. I'm thinking we're just going to add is on ground equals false in this statement. You know what? Let's just try it without even looking at it. Let's just try it and see what happens. Is on ground equals false. Boom. Let's just try it. It's just one sentence. We can get rid of it. Now let's see. So jump, hit this thing, we died, and we can still jump. So that's not okay. We're gonna check. Okay, let me read my code. Be my code again. Okay, so is on ground equals true. So on the update, if we press the space bar and the character is on ground, then he's going to jump up and makes is on ground false. So when he's in the air, it's false. But the thing is, he's touching the ground and he's touching this. So we have to make it okay. Let's see what he says. Okay, so in this one, he just says end game over. What letter is that? Exclamation mark. Okay, let's read why he has it as an exclamation mark here. Game over. Okay, so let me try to see this. So if input key down space key and is on ground, then it's gonna jump. Okay, I gotta read why the exclamation mark is there.
Jump, and that's definitely not something that should be possible. So we're going to need to change our code just a little bit so that way we don't just magically jump even though technically the game is over and the player has died. Now, in order to prevent our player from jumping over and over again when the game is over and they've lost, we'll actually need to change the condition of our if statement. So perfectly fine that they press spacebar and they can jump, and to make sure that they are on the ground when they jump, but we do need to make sure that the game is not over, otherwise they'll still be able to jump when the game is over. So we're going to add an and symbol here, so 2 ampersands for and then we're going to use if game over equals false. So if the game is not over, then this thing will run. In fact, there's actually an easier way that we can do this. So we can actually use what's called an exclamation point and set this to true. So in this case, the exclamation point actually negates the statement after it. So if game over is not equal to true, so the same thing as saying game over equals false, then it will do this thing. In fact, there's actually even a shorter way that we can write if the game is not over. For Boolean values, we can actually just put that exclamation point in front of game over. So in this case, this says, if the game is not over because of this exclamation point, then do these lines of code. Now if I save, we can see if this code really worked when we press play. So if we press space, we can still jump, and then if we hit one of the barriers, the player runs into it, and then we press the space bar and we can't jump anymore. So, a really easy way that we can prevent the player from jumping after the game is over. So, what you're going to do...
Okay, so we're just saying if the player is on ground, so he's on the ground, and the game is not over, then he can jump. Well, if I did take this away and I save it, then that means we can't jump at all until the game is over, and it'll have the opposite effect. So he's running, I can't jump, I can't jump, I can't jump, and then there we go. Now, and game is over, now it jumps. Okay. But if it's a bool statement, this means the opposite. So it does not. Yeah. Okay. So, and not game over. So the exclamation mark is just a way to say the bool is in the opposite of what you want, is in the opposite state. Okay, and so then we save that. We go here, and then we should be fixed back. Where I press. Okay, so I kind of needed to know that. I wouldn't have figured that out with the exclamation mark. It's something new. Okay, so we're jumping normally. We hit, and now it doesn't work the spacebar. That is good. Mark step as complete. Lesson recap. Mark step as complete. And then we got one more little section for this project, number 3. And I think this is where the particles and sound effects come in. And then we'll see if we have enough time to do this. They're saying it's 1 hour. So customize an effect. Add dirt and splatter particles. Okay, so they got like 6 sections here. They don't have that many lines of code. Yeah, some of this stuff would have been kind of cool to know beforehand. Like, it would have been nice to know how to make these things so that you could have your own characters rather than have it all made for you. But I guess because I am still not even a junior programmer, that's not necessary. Okay, so we're going to probably call it quits today. I'll do this tomorrow. I'll try to get this all done in the morning tomorrow. And then we will do the challenge later on. And then we got a lab as well. So we'll try to get all that stuff done tomorrow. We got a quiz. Maybe we'll do the quiz depending on how I feel. No, I got work, so probably not. Yeah, then we got gameplay mechanics, project unit 5, user interface. Okay, instruction for user feedback, next steps, career search and preparation, introduction portfolios. Okay. Yeah, no, I think all this stuff that they're teaching is actually very quite helpful and pretty good. Yeah, we're going to call it quits for today. I know it's short. got one more part and we'll get it done. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of new stuff. Trying to think about how this stuff all works. Just need to sleep on it. It is a lot of drag and drop. I like how it's a lot of drag and drop. That helps a lot with whatever coding you have to do. I would also It would have also been nice if we could have learned how to code some of these things ourselves. But then I guess the whole point of this program is to make it as user friendly as possible and have the least amount of code. And there's some stuff that you don't need for code, which it's kind of nice because now I don't have to code the mouse every single time. I don't have to code the space bar or code the arrow keys because that's already coded in. But yeah, so we'll finish off the stream today, and tomorrow we'll finish we'll finish Unit 3. That's the goal for tomorrow, is finish the whole of Unit 3. I got the day off, and so I will see you guys tomorrow.